Somebody got caught lying. Will tears help it make it go away? Hello, all you 90-day fiancé addicts. Grandma Bev here with Life with Grandma Bev from Life with Grandma Bev. And I'm going to do my regular Tuesday 90-day fiancé the other way recap. Now, this one won't be real long because it was kind of boring, to tell you the truth. But we'll start with the most boring couple last night. That was Julio and Kirsten. You ever pick up or notice how she pronounces it Julio? You can tell she's from, another country where everybody knows it's Julio. Now, if you go over to the Netherlands, though, and listen to their language, it's really kind of when they talk. So anyway, it just continued from where it left off last week. She was still upset about the fact that he thought, should we maybe live in the States 2 or 3 months, Netherlands 2 or 3 months, or live separately. So it was just mainly that kind of talk, did you really mean that? And of course, he's going to be taking her to the airport the next day, so she doesn't want to leave on a sour note. But no, they just didn't really, And he says, well, I might want to come back every so often and live in the States to have some food, good food. Good food. Have you ever heard anybody say, I want to go back to Italy? I can understand that one. See, I want to go back to Canada so I can get, and I'm not putting down Canada because their food's just like ours. So I'm going to go back to the northern hemisphere. I don't know. Get some of that food. You like hamburgers, French fries, or you can get that over there too. So that's about it for them. So then the next most boring was Danielle and Johan. Well, Danielle's 2 friends came to visit. And so she's all excited about her friends. I think we talked about it last week. Well, this week, they decided to go to the river to meet Johan's family. And they're a big family, like to get together. So they're on their way to the river. And Danielle says how she won't go in the river because she wants to check the pH balance before she goes in any water. Because it might be dirty and stuff, She wants her pH balance. It'll upset her flora and fauna. And her friends in the backseat are cracking up over her flora and fauna. So they get there. And at first, the one girl was kind of scared of the cow. The cow's just run loose. What the heck? Cows never hurt anybody. And she gets scared by the cow standing there just eating. And they go up and they meet the family. And, of course, they both can speak the language. So they all get along great with his family. And they say to his family, you're all so tall, right? And they say, how big was, or when did Johan stop growing tall? And they said, he came out tall. He weighed 12 pounds. And Danielle goes, and you want me to have one of your babies? I couldn't get My mother had an 11-pounder. She survived. I had a 10-pounder. I survived. It just spreads. So, let's see. We find out that Danielle has a 22-year-old son that she had when she was like 20, 21, something like that. So she's already had a kid. And now she just feels like she doesn't want to raise another kid right now, but she'll do it for him because she knows it's so important. Well, they've been trying to get pregnant, and they'd gone to a fertility specialist, and he told them that her eggs were very minimal and that she had maybe a 5% chance of getting pregnant. So she wants to go check into surrogacy, or, the donated egg. Now, I don't know if she's planning on carrying it or if they're going to, do it by surrogacy. He says surrogate, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening there. Then we'll move to Kim and TJ. Well, the wedding's coming up in about a week. What is it, about 7 days? So I guess it's 7 days prior to a wedding, there's all these different traditions and customs that they do. So she's been busy with, mainly the mamas, the women, having all these little traditions done. And so she and, what's his name, TJ, are out somewhere. And she asks him, what is she going to be doing like on a day-to-day basis? Well, he says, well, you'll get up early. You'll make the tea. You'll help the women, clean. Women will cook. And she goes, wait a minute. That's not what I want to do. So he let out a bit of the news of what she's going to have to do. And she's not real in favor of it. Hey, gal, like I say, it's their culture. You knew that before you went there. And she met with his brother. Took me a minute to realize it was his brother till I understood they said it was his brother. And she's mouthing off to the brother about how she doesn't want to do this or that. And he says, well, you're going to have to do, certain things. And she says, well, I don't want to live with the family. And he says, what? He didn't know she didn't want to live with the family. He was just totally shocked. And I mentioned that she was kind of stupid for thinking that she wouldn't be doing like what the other wives do. She got so mad that he called her stupid. Oh my God, stupid. I used to get such a kick out of parents who thought that word was so bad. I remember when my sister was about, 4 or 5. All of a sudden, a neighbor comes banging on the door. You know what Marlene called Stevie? And of course, my moms are, oh, what? She's thinking she got earlier or something bad. She called him stupid. And now it's the first time I think I was made aware that some people really take offense to being called stupid. I don't know. Sometimes it just comes out in sentences, and you don't really mean that they're stupid. They're just So anyway, they're just going back and forth. They're tit for tat, tit for tat, tit for that. Well, I'm giving up the most. Well, he's giving up the most. Blah, 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 blah. So that's where that part ended, was when she told him, look, you can say anything you want to me, but don't you ever call me stupid. All right, well, now we get to the couple of the week, which is Brandon and Mary. So, they wake up in the morning, and remember last week they had both laid him up at one end of the bed and her, and they were like backwards. So he woke up and she's sitting there, and she says, how did you sleep? He says, well, okay. He says, but I noticed when I got up to go to the bathroom during the night, you weren't here. She says, oh, I got up and I went outside into the living room and slept in front of the TV on the floor, because he kept kicking her with his feet. I thought that was funny. Anyway, so, and he says that he wants to take a bath. So she says, well, I'll warm up the water, for you. I have to boil the water, warm it up. So she tells him his bath is ready. He goes in there, and it's a big bucket. But he did okay, you can see him getting water on the floor, and I thought, I hope there's a drain somewhere in there, or I hope he at least, as a courtesy, dry the floor afterwards. But anyway, so he took his shower, his bath. He said it wasn't too bad. He could adjust to that, so that's good. Then they are having breakfast, but she's not really eating anything, but she's feeding him, because she said she felt bad because they didn't get to have sex the night before, and so she wanted to show him that she really cared for him by feeding him. And she tells us that she wants to plump him up, fatten him up, so he'll get bigger, so she gets big, snuggly. Who's that? Snuggly guy to, cuddle into like a big teddy bear. I can understand that. That's how I like my man. Anyway, she tells him that they're going to go out, and Grandpa's going to teach him, farming. Because that's what the men do. The men go out and work on the farm. She wants Grandpa to be proud of him, think of him as a man, because he works on the farm. So they go out there, and Brandon has put on these big rubber boots, right? And she said to him, you don't need to bring those. And he goes, yes, I do. So they get out there, and here's Grandpa out in this big, watery, muddy-looking field, right? So Brandon steps in the water, sinks down, his boots get stuck, can't get them back. So he's got to step out of them, walk barefoot in this muddy water that's almost up to his knees. It's stinky water, it's got poop in it, pee, and all this kind of stuff. And getting ready to harvest rice or plant rice. Oh, is that how our rice is made, in stinky, poopy water? So I guess they have this contraption that's made, almost like a little sleigh kind of thing, hooked to a caribou, which looks similar to like a cow or something. And so Grandpa gives him the rope to hang on to, and he does pretty well, I think, for his first time. And he's learning the different, different sayings that mean different things to the animal. So he did okay. I was proud of him. Never complained to anybody about the water or the mud, but he was walking through it barefoot. So earlier in the day, Brandon had told Mary, I think we should tell your grandpa that we did kiss at the airport because he wants to be honest with him. Doesn't like to, keep things from people. Why would you want to do that? She's against it. She looks at him like he's nuts. So after they get back from doing the farming, Grandpa sits on the couch with them. And Brandon says, well, should we tell him about the kissing? She looks at her and she says, I'm not going to tell him. So Brandon tells him. And boy, Grandpa puts this mad look on his face. He was mad inside, but he was thinking. So finally he says, well, okay, you can kiss, but you must marry also. Which, they were planning on doing that anyway. I don't see what the big deal was. So they said, sure. So now they can kiss. So then from that point, they went to guess the ocean, or they said it was the ocean. It was some kind of beach, to meet her friends, which are 3 guys that she's known since she was real little. And, of course, you know how Brandon and Mary are jealous about each other. Well, Brandon wasn't allowed to meet any of his friends because his friends might have sisters or girlfriends or things like that. And she didn't want him around any other women, those 2 years they were, want to call it dating, over the phone. So the 3 guys walk up, sit down, and they start asking questions, So the one kid puts foot in mouth and says, so did you ever tell him that you turn off the router and during the night when he's sleeping and you come out and meet us? And she's just, oh, shoot. Well, Brandon wasn't real thrilled to hear that. He said, you mean I couldn't meet my friends? That you've been meeting yours all along? And she says, well, I've known them since I was real little. You wanted to meet some new friends and stuff. He says, I don't care, no difference. So, of course, she starts getting the tears coming down. The tears. Well, of course, he's not stupid, I guess, because then he starts crying right off her face and tells her that it's okay. Just don't lie anymore. But he does notice they haven't had any power outages since he'd been there. And that was about it. So see, it wasn't a real, oh boy, this is so good. I'm sitting on the edge of my seat. So we'll see what happens next week. They must be getting close to the end because they're going to start up the, 90-Day Fiancé Last Resort next Monday night. So I don't know. Maybe they're going to have 2 on in the evenings. And Monday evening. So tell me what you thought. Nobody really says anything, so I never know what you guys are thinking. So please comment below, share, like, and subscribe. And I hope you all are having a terrific summer week. I love you all. Bye.